Welcome back to the Clyde FC podcast, brought to you, as always, by the award-winning A State of Mind. We are back after our self-imposed winter break and looking forward to chatting all things Bully Wee once more with you on a Friday evening. Joining me tonight, I have a man that's more positively charged than a sports Tesla model. It's Mr. John Boyce. Boycey, how are you doing, sir?
That's quite an introduction. I could have used a Tesla in the snow this morning, but that's another story. Good to be back. Nice to see you, Paul. Hope you've had a good New Year, and everyone watching, happy New Year. And yeah, just looking forward to getting back talking all things Clyde after an amazing run of form, which definitely had nothing to do with us being off air.
Absolutely not. I'm hoping come tomorrow at 5 p.m. you aren't all cussing us. But yeah, there's a lot to discuss on the field and as much as we might not want to off the field discussions. However, we will be joined by two current squad members, Rob Jones and Adam Livingstone. So please do get your comments and questions into the guys. They'll be joining us in around 15-20 minutes time. So, Boycey, let's address the elephant in the room. When are you shaving that goatee?
You're coming after me tonight, aren't you? Jeez.
Aye.
It will be staying. Thank you. It'll be staying.
No, of course, kind of joking aside here, we have to address the transfer speculation. I'm sure that will be hot in the comments as they come in tonight. So let's just do it. There has been obviously a lot of transfer speculation in the press, online football forums, Twitter. Wherever you go at the moment, you cannot not see a transfer headline that involves club captain David Goodwillie. Now, obviously, before we go into anything, just to re-emphasise, these are all just our opinions as fans. It's not anything we don't know, anything like any other fan. We are just going to give our opinion as to what we think the state of play is and what kind of could or might not happen. So, Boycey, coming to yourself, what are your thoughts on the kind of transfer rumours, and have you had many sleepless nights?
Yeah, well, obviously he's our main threat going forward. He scores goals for fun. He's been our main man for years. Obviously, every transfer window, it's going to crop up. Teams are going to look at him. You know, he's playing at a good level with us in League One now, still banging them in. He's got 18 months left in his contract, and for me, it's kind of a two-headed coin. On one hand, we obviously want to keep our goal scorer and main threat and help push up the leagues, but on the other hand, we do have problems in the rest of the squad. So is now 18 months left on his contract a good time to look at getting some money for him? Because I imagine we'd maybe command a good fee for him and spending that in other areas of the squad to strengthen. That's not saying I want him to leave. Of course, I want him to stay, but in the worst case scenario that he does go, there could be some positives there for us to take. What were your thoughts, Paul? You've been crying into your pillow?
Pretty much, yeah. It's been this recurring thing every January, I think, pretty much since David joined the club and the success that he's had with us. It almost seems inevitable that the second the 1st of January hits, there's the speculation. We've all known the different teams over the years that have been linked with David. There does seem to be a wee bit more kind of fear in the fan base this time. There's all manners of kind of chats and rumours as to whether or not things have been done or not. I kind of agree with you in certain parts that, yes, David more than likely would be a high earner. Plus, I would certainly hope that the club do not let him go for what would maybe be a derisory or kind of measly fee. He's a top asset. I think we say near enough every week on this show after he bags a double or a hat trick or wins us a game, a moment of magic. He is out with the top flight, one of, if not the best striker going. Just for his his goal threat and everything else that he adds. It's not just his goals, his assists for the club and his time are absolutely insane. The number for an out-and-out striker. So, yes, we could use that money for enhancing other areas of the team, but those goals they're really hard to come by. You don't get many strikers like him, Boise. So, yeah, it's one of these things. Please do let us know that
it's difficult.
The comments are coming in. Martin Brune says the gaffer says hands off, and yep, Danny was quite clear in the press. I think it was in the Daily Record or one of the Red Tops. Issued a pretty straightforward hands off warning to any would-be suitor that if they do want to open serious discussions with the club, that they're going to have to pay, because he is quite simply irreplaceable to us.
Yeah. So if we're talking a fee, say, I mean, everything considered, in my 15 years of football manager experience and knowledge at demanding transfer fees, I'd probably put it in like the maybe 50 to 75,000 mark, which for us is pretty decent, to be honest. You could get a good few players for that. But then you've got the other side as well, which seems to be the theme here. You've got obviously the good and the bad, but going further down the line with David, does he sign a new contract? Do we get less money for him? Do we get any money for him? So if he is going to go, is this a good time for him to go if we're going to get money for him? Obviously, again, want him to stay, but Martin Brune is saying no positives. Team started to come together and play as a team. Absolutely. We've been in a 6-match unbeaten run. We've been playing really well, but if you have all this transfer speculation and it starts to maybe start to unsettle people, then further along the line, what's that going to look like? So I think the club have got to be clever with it, and I'm sure they are. And who would we bring in if Goody was to leave? Andrew's asking. I don't think you can replace him. Like for like. That's,
I mean, by all means, if you have suggestions, let us know. Because it could be that $1 million question. I'm not saying we're getting £1 million just before I get quoted on that. That's not an official bid that's been made for £1 million. So let's just put that one to bed.
I mean, Ryan Kyle is saying, one of our guests tonight, no Jonesy, no party. He would immediately fill in and do a very good job.
Certainly against Falkirk, but we will obviously come to the Falkirk game and look at that in a wee bit of depth, hopefully with the boys as well, giving us their input. But yeah, Big Jonesy stepped up to the plate. There is no denying that. He was brilliant, in my opinion, against Falkirk. Gave their backline an absolute doing. Is he going to get the same goals? Probably the first to say. You would be the first to say no. That's not his game. Finding that out-and-out goal scorer, hopefully, isn't going to be an issue for Danny. However, January is still going to be a key month. Hopefully with David still as that kind of head of attack, the main man, the go-to man. However,
I mean, at the moment he's still a Clyde player, so let's all look at that and smile. He's not. Nothing's came out. He's not left. There is speculation there, but there's always speculation. And to be honest, looking online myself and doing a bit of digging, it looks like Falkirk fans are quite confident they're going to sign him. Are Falkirk in a position to spend that sort of money just now when they're looking to go part-time? I don't know. And I don't know why David would want to step down to Falkirk.
I feel you're fishing there. So. Right, okay. I thought you were fishing for a fight there.
No, me, never.
So yeah, just looking at a few of the comments coming in. Rory, Rob will be on soon. I know he's your main man. We will be joining us in 10 minutes. We're trying to cover all the other stories just now though. So yeah, just looking at January then, there's still probably work to be done. Nothing changes. Just say the squad as is. I think we go on that basis for the time being at least. Where are you focusing on to improve in the squad? Taking aside even the recent upturn in results, I think we still maybe need to look at strengthening. Would you agree?
Yeah, Yeah, definitely. I think before looking at what areas I would like to strengthen, just like to, say there has to be a lot of praise. And I know we've put it out on the podcast Twitter when we've been away, but a lot of praise has to be given to the management team on our turnaround. Danny said we had to become difficult to beat. And we really have been. Like, our defence has improved vastly and we've become difficult to beat, dogged in the tackle and playing some nice counter-attacking football, which showed against Alloa and Falkirk, which are the two standout results for me. And yeah, I think if we were to improve any areas, for me, it would be a right back, a leader in the centre of defence, and a box-to-box creative midfielder. I think those are the areas that we could definitely have some extra competition in if we're looking to do anything this year. We are 4 points off fourth. Now, I know people will probably say, oh, we're not going to get fourth, but that's where we are. It's not out with the realms of possibility that we could continue on this run and, be close to that. So I think strengthening, we might have a chance. So for me, looking at it, there's players out there just now like Paul Watson and Matty Bowman who have been released by their clubs to the tail end of last season. Chuck them a wee 6-month deal and, it gives them a way back into the game, and it could be a mutual thing that we've seen over the years with Clyde, giving players a chance to come back in and they've done well for us. So that would be kind of my areas to improve on. And of course, Joe McKee is always on my wish list. So if anyone from the club are watching, please buy Joe McKee.
Just at least to shut Boise up. Yeah, I don't disagree with any of the positions. Danny will probably have I think he talked about the kind of plans on enhancing the squad back in October. I believe the kind of Q&A session was. Said that at that time the plans were already in place. So hoping that it's going to be an interesting, but not too interesting next few weeks. Interesting in a positive front only. Yes, I may be clutching, but yeah, I don't want my weekend ruined just yet, guys. So yeah, let us know if there's any kind of names you want to throw out there. Let's play transfer rumours. It's what it is. Let's try and start a positive rumour.
Yeah. So it's a good time of the year unless your best player's one of the rumours going out. But Ryan Kyle brings up a good.
Oh, sorry, you go, mate.
I know. No, just saying. Ryan Kyle brings up a good point. Can't argue with Goody if he wanted to leave. Absolutely, I think he'd go with all our best wishes, but only to a team above us. Falkirk being direct rivals would be a sore one to see him be in the Navy, and he would probably score against us. But Andrew 156 is also saying in the positions that we would want strengthening, he's looking for a winger or maybe a number 10. So my question to Andrew would be, we've got Ali Love, we've got Ross Cunningham. What kind of player would you be looking for? Would you be looking for a direct player or a creative player, or just someone that can go and run basically?
Yeah, I think Ross is injured as well, so potentially you're looking at someone who may need to step up and fill his boots and fill his place until such a time he's back. I'm not sure if it was ever confirmed, but it did look a really nasty injury when he came off against Falkirk, so I'm not sure what the place is. I know Danny in his pre-match comments tonight is talking of players returning from injury. We do have quite a lengthy injury list.
Hopefully Barry Cuddy, he's on his way back. He would be a big improvement.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. Some of the suggestions that are coming in.
Alan Troughton, there's a name for the past.
Yeah, Twilight.
Where's he been now?
But still, Alloa, I believe. Someone, I don't know if maybe Neil Parry, if we can get him in the show and try and see if he can sweet talk him. And it coming along, very gifted player.
Good suggestion, Andrew.
Very good goal return as well for someone that's not an out-and-out striker.
So, Paul, here's one for Ross Parker. Bryce so fed up at St Johnstone yet?
Don't tease me, guys. Don't tease me. Right, I'm just going to quickly invite the guys in. So, yeah, it's not all doom and gloom, as you say, boys. But the recent run on the park has been good. the results in the last 6 games, league games, 3 wins, 3 draws, some very notable performances. I think, in particular, the last 2 games. Now, I think you had mentioned to myself that, is it the first back-to-back away victories in so many years, or back-to-back victories?
We had put that out in the Twitter. It's the first back-to-back away victories we've had in the league since October 2019. And incidentally enough, that win also came at Falkirk, where Darren Lee Smith scored from 90 yards. And that does get further away the more we talk about it. So, yeah, in the League One form table, as you said, we're sitting behind Cove and Montrose in points in the last 6, and that's quite impressive considering their records just now. I think they're flying, so we're right up there with them and want to continue that tomorrow.
Right, just checking on the guys. I believe we do have Robert Jones in the wing. That's not where he's playing tomorrow. We're just waiting on Adam joining us. I think he has some issues. So we'll get Robert in and get the parish started, shall we?
Absolutely.
Hello.
Robert, how are you doing, sir?
Not bad, how are you?
Yeah, no, all good, all good.
All right.
It's been an interesting discussion so far. So we're going to move on to on-the-field matters now that you've joined. Mm-hmm. And I think Adam is also good to go now as well, hopefully. Just bear with us. And here he is. Adam, welcome to the show, sir.
All right, Adam.
Get your tech issues all sorted?
I just wasn't working with the Mac. I'm on my phone. I feel like an idiot now.
We've had plenty of phone guests, you're all right.
And we've got plenty of idiots on the show, and that's just the host. So I wouldn't worry about it too much.
Speak for yourself, Paul.
Well, I was looking directly at you. So no, we are delighted that you join us tonight, guys. It's been a few weeks since we've been off. It's coincided with what was a great run of form for the boys, unbeaten now in 6 league games. Now, there's obviously a lot of questions from the fans. So, coming to yourself first, Robert, we have to ask the question that's on every fan's lips just now. It's been consuming all supporters' thoughts, causing sleepless nights. Just what were you dressed up as in that Christmas video?
That was a kind of onesie, and it was a sheep, but I thought it looked like a polar bear, so I thought that they told us to bring in a Christmas jumper, so I thought that would do, and I think it looked pretty well, to be fair.
Going above and beyond, love it.
Yeah, it's certainly not been a sheep at any zoo I've ever seen, so
well, to be fair, at least I made an effort. Everyone else used the same one, and I brought my own one, so there you go.
No, I had mine as well.
What did you have?
Yeah, my dad's.
There you go.
There was quite a few fluctuations in the levels of effort in that video, I thought, for some of the boys.
I had a few attempts at it, to be fair. I was stuttering all over the place. Didn't know what to say.
Is Aaron Spillane giving up that hat yet?
I think he's still wears it.
Auction that off for club funds. That was quite a belter. Right, what we're going to do, because we like to do a wee icebreaker with the boys that we get on the show, and it is a completely plagiarised segment of the Old Soccer AM show. If you watch that in its heyday, we round our teammates, so it's where you get to dig out or dig into any of your teammates that you maybe tripped you up as you bolted away from them at training over the last couple of weeks. So I'll take it one at a time and we'll walk through it. So we'll go with yourself first, Adam. Quickest player at the club?
Me.
All right, Rob,
I'm kidding on.
over to you.
No, I'm kidding on. It's probably Ross Cunningham.
The highest recorded speed has been by myself, and you can ask the sports scientist.
Right, okay. Right, so we'll get Matt Fennick
Adam, can you deny that? You can't deny that, can you?
I've run faster than you this season, Ross.
But I got the highest recorded speed, so there you go.
Ross Cunningham was the fastest player at our club.
Roscoe, it has to be Roscoe, aye. It has to be Roscoe.
Ross. Right, on the flip side, who's the slowest?
Oh, that's a good question. I think Big Conrad's got to be up there.
I think Conrad's been harshly. I'm going to go with Sparky.
This could be Spark. It could be Sparky. It could be. I don't know. I'd love to see that race.
And Craig Black's just coming in. Craig Black's just coming in with that speed test. Rob is saying that it's faulty tech. that's caused that?
Nah, not having it. Not having it.
I heard that he was wearing his GPS down the motorway, and that's how it was that fast.
I did take it home one night by accident, so it might have been that.
Right, Rory Holmes is going 2-footed, and you hear Adam. Is that Adam Livingstone or Methadone Mick? Now, I think that is more than slightly harsh. We'll put it down to a lighting issue.
That's a compliment because he's got big white gnashers, hasn't he?
Right, we'll move swiftly on before we get taken off air. Club Hardman. If it all kicks off on the pitches.
Splaney, no doubt.
Splaney.
Splaney?
No Kevin Nichols, no?
No,
Kev.
not even close. He wouldn't make the top 20.
Just on the pitch then.
Aye, on the pitch, definitely Kev.
I think Kev could get booked and kicking the ball about.
To be fair to Sparky as well, Sparky's up there. I'd like to see a full between Sparky and Splaney. I think that'd be a good one.
So they'd be first on scene if it all kicks off.
They're both into boxing, I think. So.
Right, okay. Right, flip side to that. Who's in the car park if it all kicks off? Who's running the opposite direction?
Paul Kennedy.
Just
throwing that out there. Rapid. PK.
I think I agree with PK. Maybe Kev. I think Kev talks a good game, but he'd run.
All right, okay. Interesting. Right, we'll aim on the kind of more football and skill side of things. Who is the most skilled at the club?
Wee Mo's got a good wee touch about him. I like Margado.
Yeah.
Technically, aye. Sparky,
Pages up
delivery.
Pages up there. Somebody's played up front and training a couple of times. And
Aye, by the way,
like Ronaldo.
Johnny Page's feet in tight situations are incredible.
So is this another possible position he might play? Because he's been filling in pretty much across the whole back line.
I know. Aye. I'd fancy
Weemo's good. Weemo's really hard to tackle, especially in small tight areas and things. He's good.
Right, okay. Let's go back into insulting people, right? So footballers aren't renowned for their brains. Apologies, gents. I'm not necessarily aiming that at you here. But who would you say is the most intelligent in the current squad?
I know what you're going to say.
Who'd you say, Adam?
Intelligent. I'd probably say Big Jonesy or Conrad.
I'd say Conrad.
I think that's fair given his profession. Right. Other end of the IQ scale, who is the daftest, the least intelligent? Who would walk into a lamppost if they weren't guided?
Billy.
Right, okay. Who's the team joker? Who fancies himself as the joker of the pack? And this has been a fairly common answer over the last year and a half.
I think I know people will say, to be fair. Ali, I think Ali's the obvious answer.
Aye.
I
would say Lovey.
And Neil Parry as well, I'd say.
Aye, Big Parry's got a bit about him.
Yeah. Daft keepers and all that.
Yeah.
Right. Last one. Last one. Who's the teacher's pet? Who's first complimenting Danny in his new V-neck in order to try and get himself in the team sheet?
100% Ali Love.
Ali Love. It's
a lot of chatting in the touchline.
Yeah, I can imagine that actually. Right, so yeah, we'll leave that aside. I think he's a dug out enough. He can fire in anyone as we go along. So yeah, kind of all joking aside, how have you felt the season has went so far? Robert, I'll come to yourself first. It's been kind of up and down at points, but more recently, things certainly looking up on the park.
Yeah, I think up and down is obviously a way to describe it in terms of if you obviously look at the start of the season till now. I thought when we came together in pre-season, we were doing really well. A lot of the boys were quite excited about what was going to happen throughout the season. Shown like in a few pre-season performances, and then we kind of hit a spell where I felt like we weren't at it as a group, and kind of for one reason or another, the results just weren't coming. Probably topped off by the Clyde Bank game. Obviously, we had the Broomhill exit as well, which was another really hard one to take. But No, obviously recently, like you said, we've 6 unbeaten, starting to put some really good performances together. Even probably more important than the results, because it obviously shows that we're doing most of the right things. And I think if we continue to do that, then we should be okay.
Right, Adam, straight over to you then. What's been your kind of overarching kind of thoughts on the season so far?
I'd probably just start by saying that Jonesy probably put a few people to sleep there with that monotone.
I went for yours now. On you go.
But no, I agree with pre-season. I felt like we were flying. I thought we were going to be amazing, and then it kind of just, I think we kind of got a wee bit ahead of ourselves. Started the season, we thought like this is going to be easy. We've been brilliant. Like we've beat Airdrie, we've done this, we've done that, we've been great, and then I think it got to a point where we kind of just slackened off a wee bit in certain games, and I don't know. I think it was we're kind of figuring out what the best team to play was. I think up until recently we still kind of were, especially when you get injuries and that. It makes it hard. So I think a lot of it, like kind of before this wee run that we've had, was just kind of figuring out who worked best with who, really, and what the best kind of formation was for us to play, because we were still kind of changing it week in, week out, the formation and stuff, and boys were getting used to playing, boys were in and out. But I think now we've got a kind of, I don't know, a balance where everybody can come in if they've not been playing and do well. Like I was out for a long time and I came back in, and I felt like I'd done all right when I came back in. So it was just one of the things where people are like, there's going to need to be people coming in because of the amount of injuries we're having. But it's good to get back on that wee streak that we're on now and kind of push forward like that.
Is that
do you think?
Oh, sorry, boys.
I was just going to say, do you think that's anything to do with maybe a wee change in system? Because it seems like we started the season quite well, and then there was a wee dip in form, where obviously we were conceding a lot of goals. But since Danny had said, the team wanted to be difficult to beat, we've played some really nice counter-attacking football. Do you think that's partly to do with the uptick in form, or maybe a change in system, or do you think it's just more team coming together?
As a team, we kind of we kind of stood back for a minute and said, well, we can goals, and then I think we just kind of realised that we need to manage the game better, and because we were just going out and conceding 2 and 3 in the first 10 minutes sometimes, and it was just like you're instantly on the back foot. But I think we all just got to a point where we were like, right, we're attacking well when we do attack, but we've not really focused on defending at all. So we need to start. We need to start now before we keep leaking goals. But I think we've got to a point now where we're actually defending first and then setting up our attacks, more than just kind of try to go for it all the time and not even thinking about defending or how many we're leaving back. Or, do you know what I mean? So
yeah. But I know we talked about it, I think possibly even in the last show, that the kind of turnaround of the results, that we were almost going back to near enough the time when Danny joined the club, where we were shipping goals left, right and centre. The first thing he did was make us difficult to beat again. And he kind of touched upon that at the kind of fans Q&A night. It was, let's go back to basics. First of all, don't lose, and then build into the game for there. Rob, what would you say then maybe been the kind of key to the upturn in recent results? Some of the results have came in particularly tough circumstances. You look at the Falkirk game in particular, where we were literally down to the bare bones. I was just surprised Boise wasn't in the bench, given the lack of numbers. It was getting that bad.
Don't think my fitness is there just yet, Paul.
It's hard to obviously put a finger on it, but I mean, I think what Adam said is probably right. We probably did get a bit ahead of ourselves, especially with our form at the start of the season. I think, we weren't maybe focusing on the fundamentals or something like that. So I think when we had that kind of blip and that dip in form, just kind of opened our eyes a wee bit, and obviously the boys have put maximum effort in and obviously believed in ourselves because of the ability in the squad. I think we can go into every game now, especially with last week's or 2 weeks ago's result, and saying, why can't we beat anyone? And as long as we kind of keep it tight and do our jobs, then we should be fine.
Sorry, boys, I was waiting for you to pipe in there, just in case. No, it's been great to see, and yeah, there's still a lot that I think we can improve on, and I'm sure you guys will be first to put your hands up on that too. But the kind of basis is there now for us to hopefully push on for the remainder of the season. We are now unbeaten in the league. We won't mention cups because cups are bad words at the moment this season. We are unbeaten since now, I like saying it this way, October 2021, because it sounds longer. It's 6 league games, one back-to-back against Falkirk and Alloa, who started the season would have certainly been fancied to being at the top end of the table. Not quite worked out that way for those clubs so far. Those 2 matches, I think in particular, we done incredibly well in. Boise, you touched upon the kind of counter-attacking element. The Falkirk game, Adam, I think you're now, I don't know how many players we've played at right back, but you seem to be the latest in line. How have you enjoyed that? There's been a few people asking in the comments as well.
I've actually quite enjoyed it, to be honest with you. I felt really comfortable on the ball at right back. I think you just, obviously because I'm a lefty, I think it was just easier. I'm opening up and I've got the full pitch to look at rather than just a touchline. Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of, it gives you so many more options, and it's easier to link in with the strikers and link in with the midfielders because it's just naturally where your body's shaped up to play. But no, I've enjoyed it. I had to be a wee bit more reserved, obviously, because I didn't, at the start, I didn't feel comfortable where I was receiving the ball and just weird things that you wouldn't usually think about that were annoying me. But I started getting forward a wee bit more as I kind of get more comfortable in the first game. But no, I've enjoyed it. I would happily play there every week.
No, I think we've enjoyed seeing you there as well. We'll maybe get Cuds on the left-hand side when he comes back. Are you looking forward to playing Cove tomorrow? Obviously, one of your former teams.
Always look forward to playing Cove. The first time, I think the first game we played against them, that was a great feeling for me. Obviously, leaving there, and I've obviously got no hard feelings with Cove. I enjoyed my time there, but it was good. Obviously, kind of proving a point. And it felt good kind of beating them the first time we were there. The second time, obviously, we didn't get the result we wanted, but it's good playing against them, especially because I know a lot of the boys for last season. They've got much the same squad, so it's good beating them and having a wee one up on them.
So, Rob, Falkirk match, you were thrust up front yourself. You were leading the line solo. I think Falkirk defence would have been sick of the sight of you by the end of the game. You obviously won the penalty kick. Dare say you should have had a penalty kick just before that. An assist for the winner, a goal chopped off. Again, red, white and black tinted glasses here. Certainly of the softer variety. And I'm not just saying it because you're on the show. I'm sure you'll back me up on that. Would you say that was probably your best 90 minutes in a Clyde jersey?
Maybe. I mean, I've been told that. Obviously, it was a good game. It was one of those games that nobody really expected us to go and get a result. But obviously, you could probably see the game plan from watching the game. It was quite obvious, and I knew my role. I'd probably played that up top myself kind of role a lot more, obviously, last year with Dumbarton. And I had that experience of obviously being that kind of outlet when we're under a bit of pressure. So obviously I enjoyed the game and it managed to go our way and I managed to play a decent part in that. So I enjoyed it. I probably would agree I maybe would be the best performance so far for Clyde, but at the same time I'm wanting to score, and unfortunately it was definitely soft. But in watching it back, I can see why the refs potentially chopped it off, but at the same time I've kind of put my hands up, but the other player falls into me, my direction. So if I'd pushed him, he would have kind of fallen the other way, he'd have fallen forward. So that's my argument for that. But at the same time, we got the result anyway, so it's not a huge deal.
Yeah, it was a fantastic 3 points, Boise. I know we wax lyrical about the performance. I think every Clyde fan, we were hopeful we might be able to sneak something, but given the kind of state of the injury list, we were it felt clutching at the straws. So to get the result we did was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, no, it was 2 great goals as well. I mean, I think we should have got the first penalty and then we finally got it. thanks to yourself, Jonesy. And yeah, Ali put it away really well. And then the second goal really well worked. Probably not, combined with very good Falkirk defending, but the runs were there, and we did really well without David Goodwillie. So I think we played really well and scored the goals. Rob, you had obviously mentioned you were at Dumbarton last season, playing as more of a target man. Feel this season at Clyde, you're maybe some ball to feet football being played as well. You enjoy that side of the game as well, running at defenders with your frightening pace.
To be fair, I much prefer to obviously play with the ball on the deck. It's probably something that I've had to obviously learn how to play that target man role, because obviously if I'm 6'5" and I'm not playing that role, then it'll look a bit stupid. But Dumbarton was obviously a different pitch, different team. We weren't anti-football, but at the same time we knew what we were good at. And Clyde's obviously, first and foremost, we look to play. And I feel like I'm comfortable doing that. If I can combine both, then why not in that sense? But as long as I'm playing, I'll play whatever way the gaffer wants me to play.
Right, Ryan Cowell's asking a question. Sorry, boys, just to Rob. Who's been the toughest opponent for the boys this season? And is there any defenders in particular, Rob, that you hate playing against?
Toughest opponent. Well, to be fair, I thought Kilmarnock were really good in the kind of the cup at the start of the season. They've got a centre back there who's I've played against a few times. I think Murray, I think his name is. I think he was number 5 or something, but he's a very good defender in the league. Peterhead have really a strong and aggressive defenders as well. So I don't mind that part of it, but I mean, even sometimes when you've got a smaller defender as well, I think we played Airdrie. We played Airdrie away, and one of their centre halves was about 5'7" or something. He beat me to a header, and that would annoy me more than say playing against somebody that's the same height as me, because these guys are sharp and fast, and you can't push them or else you'll get a foul given against you. So there's a few, but a couple of Peterhead centre backs, and I think Murray for Kilmarnock is a good player.
Yeah. Rory Holmes is asking, Rob, did you get your goal bonus for the Airdrie game? Obviously, we were all watching that and hoping that the game would finish, but
well, to be fair,
raging that it get called off.
I got told it was obviously chopped off at the time, but apparently it's been given because the cards count from that game. So apparently the goals count. This is what I've been told, the goals count as well.
Oh, nice.
And if you look on BBC, there's an extra goal there, so I'm claiming it. I don't want
that an extra goal to 0.
Right out of your hands, like it.
I don't want you to go and research that, because that's how it's staying anyway. So there's the third. What did you say?
We don't tend to research things on this show anyway. So
that's your tally, your full career. Remember?
I don't.
No, remember the one at Montrose.
It was Montrose.
Hi, Adam. You came close against Falkirk, am I right? Was it in the first half? The volley from close range.
I think I hit it too well. That's what the boys were saying to me anyway. I connected with it, but see if I'd sclaffed it or something, it probably would have gone in the top bin. I think I just hit it too well, and the boys, the goalies kind of turned round, and like as he's turning round, it's hitting him in the shoulder, so he didn't know anything about it. I think if I'd mishit it, it probably would have gone in, but I just caught it too well.
Speaking of mishitting it, if he's given Ali the rightful ribbon that he deserves after his sitter, thankfully it never cost us the points. It was a bit of a horror show.
He done me out an assist.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
They did 2 yards out or something, wasn't
it? It was bad. We've got a good question here from Rory for yourself, Adam.
Right.
How does the current squad compare to the one from your first time at the club? Obviously, it's very, very kind of different. Very different squads.
It's very different. For the first time I was here, when I came in the January, it was obviously right before COVID. I only got about 8 games in, but I did get to know all the boys quite well, and I think there's a lot of different qualities that left, but there's like different qualities that came in, if you get what I mean. So in terms of Ray was very, very good on the ball, very composed. like basically nobody could get the ball off him. He could strike it from anywhere. And then you bring in Splaney, who will work hard, but he's also very, very good on the ball. But just in a different way. He's a more aggressive runner with the ball, and Ray was more kind of chilled on it. I think what we lost since then, we've kind of gained in different people in different ways, which is weird because obviously when you think they've got different qualities, you're not getting the same player as you had before. But I think it's that, I don't know. I would say that the squads, in terms of ability, the squads are very similar. And obviously you've got your boys that were there, when I was on loan, like Baz, like Goody, like Big Scotty, and the list goes on. But I feel like even with them, like they're players that I would have back then I would have kept for years and years because I love playing beside Big Scotty. He'll put his body on the line all the time. Baz, you can literally put anywhere and he'll be one of the best players in the park. And obviously, you know, Goody will just score you goals all the time. But I feel like the two squads are pretty similar in terms of ability, and I feel like both, obviously, like both groups of boys really, really want to do well for the club, which is good.
Right, we'll put this to both of you. Again from Rory, he's active tonight in the old Facebook chat. Would you rather win the Champions League or the North Lanarkshire Broadwood Cup, gents?
It's a tough one.
It's a tough one. It is a tough one.
That's probably my first silverware in my career. I couldn't believe it. I was so happy winning the cup.
There you go. There's a quote.
Don't know about you.
People like snapping this show. So.
It was one of the best days of my life, seeing the smile on Lubo's face after we won it.
Yeah, to be fair, it made Lubo happy, so
it did. That made me happy, so I'd say the Lanarkshire.
Right, Craig Black as well. He's just kind of asking, probably more general. So how you enjoying having the fans back in at football? The last couple of years or year and a bit, with fans being locked out at points. How much of a difference does it make, Rob?
Huge difference. Obviously, we had a pretty much full season without fans, and it was just kind of surreal way of playing in that sense. But you don't really realise until they're back how much of an impact they do make. Especially, I think you notice it more when maybe you do have a slip up in a game or it's not going well, and the fans still kind of get behind you. In that sense, it makes a huge impact on the players. And at the end of the day, the fans are the key part of mostly every club, and they pay their money to come and watch the team play every week. So it's a huge kind of motivation factor. And when they're only 50 yards away watching, then you can't help it in that sense of trying an extra bit with them there. So I think it is huge, and hopefully we get back to kind of full capacity allowed soon, because although 500 isn't as bad as lockdown last year when it was 0, but I think obviously full capacity is what everyone's wanting.
Yeah, absolutely. Ryan Kell's got a wee suggestion for a goal song for you as well. He's going for Aqua, Dr. Jones on repeat. When you bag a couple tomorrow.
To be
Any
fair,
suggestions?
I've seen that. I've heard that song a few times, so I don't mind to sing that. I think Rory messaged me a few times with different ideas. I think he sent me a voice note, or I heard a voice note as well. It wasn't the greatest, but maybe that's just Rory. So
it's just Rory.
The boys love making new songs.
They do. They do. Have you got any suggestions, Adam, for a goal song for Robert? Keep it clean if you can.
For yourself as well.
Do you know the one they're talking about? It's the Dr. Jones one.
Nah.
No, right, never mind.
Nah, I don't know. He needs to score first.
Right.
There you go. Tomorrow.
Right, Ryan Kyle's neighbours hear it every weekend after the game's full blast, so it's getting out there.
Right, boys, have you got any questions you want to ask just for that?
Yeah, just obviously playing Cove tomorrow. They're in a great run of form, obviously 15 goals, and they've only conceded 2. What do you think we need to do to kind of get something from that game? Obviously, both teams in high confidence. Would we take a point from that?
Probably not.
Nah. I think every game we're going out for now, we want to take 3. just so I can send out my wee tweet after the game saying +3. I want that every week.
If that's the main driving factor, Adam, that's fine.
No, I'm kidding. But see, the thing is if we go out in every game and we're hoping for a draw, or we'd take a draw, then you're not going out with the right mentality. Realistically, that's the way I see it. I think we should be going out wanting to win every game, no matter who it is, no matter how big the team is. Like I feel like we should. We know we've got the quality to go out and beat them, so why not go out thinking we're going to win every week? Big Gregory Taddy spoke to us about that, saying if you don't believe you're not going to win, then you're not going to win. So there's no point in going out going, I'd take a draw today, or maybe during the game if you're getting battered and they're just piling chances on top of you, think, right, manage the game, we'll take a point at this point, like, we're happy with that. But before the game, you never go out thinking, we'll take a point here. It's always got to be, we're going for 3.
Obviously, Adam, you'll know quite a lot of the Cove boys quite well. Is it too easy to say that their strength is obviously their front line? That they've got goals coming at their ears up top, don't they?
I think between the two of them, I think that's something special that they have got, because if one of them's if McAllister's no scoring, Megginson will. If Megginson's no scoring, he's going through a wee drought. McAllister will, and that's just the two of them together. They're a hard kind of partnership to play against, because both of them are so different, but they bring so many different qualities in the one kind of wee partnership. So, no, I think it would be silly to overlook the fact that how good they are together.
And Rob, yourself?
If they don't score, then their goalkeeper scores, like last week. So
I suppose there was a donkey on the other side of the other goal.
Yeah, I was reading Mitch Megginson's match preview, and he was saying that the goal Stu McKenzie's actually third choice for penalties for them, which I thought was quite interesting.
He hit one in the cup when we played Broda last year. He hit one, and they were saying, no, there's no chance he'll the gaffer. And that was like, no, there's no chance he's hitting one. They put it in the top stand. Ran up and put it in the top bin.
I'm just noticing one question coming in. Did anyone play at Shawfield that's on the show? No, I'm just really grey, really young, and I never played football. And the gentlemen here are way too young to have played at Shawfield as well, Henry.
I mean, I'm looking at Shawfield right now. That's it's just.
Is that what you are? I drove by it the other day.
Aye, maybe see my Christmas lights still.
You're too lazy to put them down. Tomorrow, Rob, you as well. You'll be facing up against an ex-teammate in Morgan Neal. What are you looking forward to it, or?
Aye.
What do you think?
Definitely, I've played Scoop a few times. Obviously, before I was at Dumbarton, he was at Stranraer. Played against him there. Played against him when he was at Dumbarton. I think he was there the year before me a few times. So I know Scoop's obviously, I think Scoop's a great player, and he's both-footed in that sense, and he's obviously been doing really well for Cove. But at the same time, he'll probably know kind of what to expect from me, and likewise with him. But at the same time, we've got to go for it. And I've not played, to be fair, the other defenders, they're kind of backline very often. I think I've only played them maybe a couple of times, but I know Scoop well, and I think it'll be a kind of good battle and a good challenge if I'm playing, that is.
Nobody let him shoot for distance, because I think he scored an absolute peach against Falkirk, possibly. Maybe a miss-hit cross, but yeah, I'll let you decide amongst yourselves. So, yeah, tomorrow, big game, and it's a chance for us, perhaps not just to open up a gap of those below us, but we do have games in handover. Boise, you are a big believer in aiming for fourth. Is that the mindset for yourself still?
Aye.
Absolutely. I think aim for as high up as we can. There's no limits in this league. Anybody can beat anybody. So I don't see why we shouldn't aim for as high as we can go. Just keep winning is the mentality, really, or keep trying to win every single game.
Yeah, I think from looking at it, any team that has a decent run of form will do well. And obviously us, Cove and Montrose have picked up now, and that's translated to the league table. So, long may it continue. And I'm still aiming for fourth, boys. That's definitely achievable,
As soon as you get yourself in about the playoffs, you've always got a chance. Always got a chance for a wee bit of excitement at the end of the season. So just aim for playoffs, and then you never know where it could take you.
It's a mad league. I know the Championship gets a lot of plaudits for how competitive it is. It's almost like too many leagues in there, but it was maybe threatening for a while to shape up kind of the same way in League One. But at the moment, it doesn't seem to be going that way. We've kind of clawed our way up to fifth now, quite brilliantly so. And we do have Queen's Park in our sights, which I think at the beginning of the season, everyone and their dog would have been putting their money on Queen's Park being top of the league. Obviously, with the significant spending power, the squad that they have is fantastic. They've got some great players there. But yeah, we've got them in the crosshairs, and why not? We have to aim for them. And let's see where this season can go.
Yeah, definitely.
I think so. I mean, I think we played them twice and drew them twice, so...
Yeah, and probably should have won it, certainly in the last game at Firhill.
I think the argument with full-time team and part-time teams is that gap's getting smaller these days, especially at like Championship and League One level. I think Matty Fenwick gave quite a good presentation on it at the Q&A with the fans, and he was saying like the way that they train, or the way that you guys train, is try and recreate it to full-time as much as possible, like a couple of heavy sessions a week compared to like 3 light sessions with the full-time teams. So I think the gap's getting smaller, and I don't see, looking at our growth doing really well at the top of the Championship. I don't think that the part-time, full-time kind of argument is as prevalent as it maybe once was. Do you guys find much of a difference playing the full-time teams on the pitch, or is it just kind of similar every week?
I think that if the boys in like whatever part-time team it is buy into what people like Matty will be given to you in every session, and also like the Gaffer and Murray as well, because they're wanting to put on hard sessions for us, and if you buy into it, then there's no reason why you can't be as sharp or as fit as all the full-time teams. I think it's just kind of down to the players really, more than like just being part-time. I think if you just accept that you're part-time and you're going to be less fit than people that are full-time, then your team is never going to have a chance really against them, because it's just a pure negative mindset right for the start. But I think all of us at Clyde are buying into it, definitely, and I don't see why there should be much of a difference between the part-time and full-time teams in our league, other than money maybe for like calibre of players and stuff. But I really don't think there's much gaps between any of the full-time teams and us, really.
Yeah, it's shown because we've obviously got points off the full-time teams and played some really good football against them. So I think that shows that it works.
Yeah, I think we've been maybe guilty since making it into League One of bloodying the nose of the kind of full-time teams and falling short against the kind of teams in and around us in the league table. Maybe somewhat more refreshing this year. We're seeing a kind of wider spread of the points, but we're taking the points against the East Fives, etc. And also still being able to take the scalps of Falkirk, even Cove at the last home game. So it can only be a positive for the rest of the season if we can continue on that trend. First quarter of the season, we had 11 points. After the next 9 games, we've taken an extra point on top of that, so we're up to 23. Continue on that trend, you're going to be in and around the fourth spot mark, the 4th place mark at the end of the season.
Mm-hmm. No, I think so, and all you can obviously do is go cliches, take it game by game. But why not? We've seen everyone in the league, and why not?
Yeah, as Martin Brown says here, and I love this, as long as your hearts are in it, your lungs will follow. So,
He's right.
It's true.
Right. I mean, Martin has a certain way with words, and he always
puts something. Is it not loads of emojis he puts?
He likes an emoji, does Martin? On a similar kind of feat to emojis, Craig Black has said that Adam, your goal celebration tweet, will we see it this season? It's quite different, and I know Rob, you enjoy your photos from that as well.
I just got to be on a penalty so we can see it. To be fair,
I need to take penalty at some point, just so they can see it. It's fantastic. I don't know if Craig managed to get it in because of the green screen, but no, it'll be a sight when if I do score. I'm going to try everything tomorrow to try and score.
Aye, definitely.
Right, we're getting some predictions in, but we'll stay away from predictions for the boys because we know you're going to say we're winning. Boys, have you got any kind of shout-outs? Just wary of time. I know there's been an announcement on tomorrow's match and a pitch inspection.
Yeah, so obviously with the snow coming down, there's a 10 a.m. pitch inspection. Broadwood's usually quite good at passing these things with the all-weather pitch, so fingers crossed the game goes ahead.
Well done, you've just cost us. Well done, boys.
It'll be fine.
Oh.
There are 150 tickets left for tomorrow's game, and there will be a ticket window open with card payments preferred, and that's the only way to guarantee a ticket is to buy online. And the live stream can also be purchased with info on both Clyde and Cove match previews on how to get into that. And live commentary will be available from myself and John McKinnon starting at 2:55. So if you can't get along to the game, certainly join in on the live stream and see Clyde win by 3-0.
3-0, we're doing predictions. Right, okay, I'll go 2-1 good guys and the two gents bagging one each, right? So we can get the gifts out. And plus 3 tweets from both of you. I'm sure Rory and the boys will be expecting it. Thanks for that, boys. I don't think there's anything else to call out. Just finally, guys, do you have a message for the Bully faithful? We'll come at yourself, Adam, first. Just for tomorrow's match, hopefully, fingers crossed, it goes ahead and for the remainder of the season.
My message would be obviously it's difficult with COVID just now, but we do appreciate every bit of support that you give us, whether it's on Twitter or like just coming to the games or even watching the live stream because you're always helping the club. But I would just say stick with us for the rest of the season and you'll see the results hopefully. And you will see a result tomorrow.
Right. Andrew in the comments, Rob, is saying a hat-trick for you tomorrow. So with that in mind, what's your message for the fans for the rest of the season?
Well, I hope I get a hat-trick tomorrow, but no, as long as they keep supporting us, then we'll keep putting 100% in, and that's all we can really give. And hopefully the results keep coming, and we can be where we want to be at the end of the season. And obviously we want to be in the playoffs and have that to go for rather than fighting for survival, which I've been in before. So same time, just need to support us along the way, and hopefully we can provide a good end to the season, I think. No,
absolutely, and the boys will, from the stands, will give their absolute backing. As Martin said, you see the effort, the fans buy into it. That's all we ever ask for. So thank you both for your time. It's been great having you on the first show in, I don't know, what's it been, Boise? 83 years or something. It's been a while since you've been on
just
there.
Just a month, Paul.
Just a month. It felt longer. I appreciate all the comments and it's great to be back. We will be back a fortnight next week. I'm not sure if did we decide.
Let's be back next week. All
right, we're doing weekly again, guys. Right. Will we put the boys up a nomination for our next guest? Who should we get on?
Gregory Taddy.
Tad's on book a 4.5-hour slot.
Right, okay.
Let's do it.
Right. We did tweet Gregory, but he stopped replying. So we thought that was maybe a hint just to shut up shop. But no, right, there you go. We'll try and get Gregory on. Because that would be interesting. So yeah, gents, thanks very much for your time again. Good luck for tomorrow and of course for the rest of the season. And until next week, come on the Bully Wee.
Come on, Clyde.